Hey guys, it's Julia Pierce with Plumline Productions. And today I have a potentially explosive story. I am giving a trigger warning and stating that this is purely for educational purposes only. So, several weeks ago, I was given some information about an alleged sex tape that was made by Greg Countryman with a citizen who used to work for the Municipal Court in Muscogee County. Now, I'll be honest, I have heard some murmurings about this, but never really dug much into it. And I will tell you that as I have been attempting to do open records requests, that as usual, I received a lot of obstruction. Even to the point that the city attorney said that the information was lost or they couldn't find it. I was able to do an open records request for the original report that was made by the citizen who was told that this tape was made without her permission. Now, all of this is alleged. Again, because I cannot find, nor am I being given information to validate the story or a lot of its details. But allegedly, this tape was made without this woman's permission by Greg Countryman while they were involved in intimate relations. As far as the relationship, I don't know what the legitimacy of that was. But it was brought to light by Gloria Strode, and this was allegedly viewed during a bachelor party for Ben Richardson, and it was shown by Greg Countryman. So when the woman found out about it, she, of course, was appalled and tried to get justice or resolve for what had been done. And it appears that a lot of people that were involved in this, such as Greg Countryman, John Dart, and Vivian Creighton Bishop, ended up being able to secure a restraining order to keep this citizen from being able to get justice, to the point that she was not even allowed on government property. And to add insult to injury, they defamed her, and she lost her job, and she couldn't get any resolve through the Muscogee County court system, which doesn't surprise me. And she lost a lot of her community and was pretty much forced to evacuate Columbus, which she had been in for a long time and been a very honorable and valued member of. Now, allegedly, Greg Countryman is the only person that has this tape, but several people have seen it and have refused to say anything about it, and in fact have almost assisted in the smear campaign against the citizen. So I really just wanted to present some of the evidence that I have and see what you guys think. And maybe potentially we could get some justice for this woman, because this supposedly was opened in 2012, and the police report that I pulled recently still says it's under investigation. So this is the alleged investigation to the racial slur report, and it was dated Thursday, April 25th, 2013, and Monday, April 29th, 2013. And it was performed by Southern Professional Investigations, and the client was Teresa Tomlinson with the Columbus Consolidated Government, and the subject was Ricky Warren. Now, I want to preface right here that the allegation was that Ricky Warren used the N-word with regards to Greg Countryman, but it would be proven, and I can show the evidence forward, that Ricky was found innocent. And the gentleman who made the allegations was fired. But this is the part that I found interesting. And so it says, Countryman stated prior to the last election, a woman filed a complaint against him stating he was harassing her by phone. That was December 8, 2012. Someone called her and asked her if she was making sex tapes with Marshal Greg Countryman. The woman alleged it was Countryman who had called. He stated he was out of town when the calls were allegedly made. On December 16th, she went to the Superior Court judge and the sheriff's office to file a report. They declined to take a report because she was mental. The woman went to the police department and they took a report. Countryman stated he would have felt better if someone at the police department had told him about the report. He stated when he found out about it, he contacted the mayor and she contacted the chief. Countryman stated there was an investigation that went from a simple harassing phone call report to an investigation about sex tapes, which supposedly took place in the mid-1980s. Countryman stated there had been a strained relationship between him and the chief for a long time. He stated a retired major told him he didn't know what was wrong with the chief. The major stated he asked the chief what the marshal had ever done to him. The chief stated nothing. He just said he didn't like the fucker. Now, I'm interested because this was supposed to be about an alleged slur that was made by Ricky Warren regarding Greg Countryman. So how did this woman get brought up in the midst of this, unless it was somehow maybe he thought that it was tied to that, or maybe it was his guilty conscience? I don't know. So I went and pulled the report from the CPD open records request, and the woman's name is Joanne Flantroy, and I was able to find a lot of stuff on the internet through local media about this supposed issue, this sex tape. And you'll see that she filed this on December 8th, 2011. And she filed this from her home. And you'll see that it's regarding harassing phone calls. And so this is actually where the report verbiage was stated. So on December 8th, 2011 at 2020 hours, I, Officer Wheel, was dispatched to 4804 Freeman Court in reference to harassing telephone calls. There I met with Miss Joanne Flantroy, who stated she was receiving phone calls from an unknown male party, once on December 8, 2011 at 14:13 hours from a payphone, and once on December 8, 2011 at 20 hours from another payphone. Miss Flantroy states she doesn't know who the party is that is calling her. Now, what I find interesting is in the racial slur report previously, it said that this woman alleged that it was Greg making the phone calls, but that's not what this says. And right here, this is the follow-up interview with the victim. And so it says, Miss Flantroy stated that the party that was calling her asked if she was still making pornographic videos with Marshal Greg Countryman. Miss Flantroy further stated she believes the party's calling may be affiliated with Marshal Countryman. Miss Flantroy has heard there was a sex tape of her and Marshal Greg Countryman. She states that if there is a tape, it was filmed without her consent. Miss Flantroy also believes the clerk of municipal court, Miss Vivian Bishop, may be involved because Miss Flantroy found out about some illegal events that Miss Bishop was involved in. Miss Flantroy didn't elaborate on what those events were. Miss Flantroy also indicated that there were some additional issues she and Miss Bishop had when Miss Flantroy lost her job. This case is under investigation. Now here is an article by WTVM that was published on December 21st, 2012, and basically it just says that Miss Flantroy had a $2 million lawsuit against the Columbus Consolidated Government and 3 elected officials. It says the plaintiff, Joanne Flantroy, claims she was the victim of abusive litigation when the 3 defendants, Municipal Court Clerk Vivian Creighton Bishop, Marshal Greg Countryman, and Sheriff John Darr, tried to get a permanent restraining order against her. It also said that she was a previous municipal court clerk's office employee. And here is where Joanne Flantroy alleged that Vivian Creighton Bishop was cashing checks and putting them into her own personal bank account. I personally would like to know some more information on this, because if that is the case and Greg Countryman did this, I am quite concerned that they have attempted to smear this woman. But what I find really interesting is that he alleged that Mark LaJoy was trying to defame him. While it looks like he may have used the government to defame her. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts?